Guys, welcome back, or welcome if you are new, and welcome to a couple of autumnal days in my life. I don't know why, but I always find it so awkward to start reading vlogs, but I just wanted to film one today. I don't know why. It's like the most random day of the week. It's Thursday the 5th of October at 2:45, and I just randomly got the urge to start a vlog. I think this is going to be just a couple of autumnal days in my life. Maybe I'll just do today and tomorrow. I have been feeling so autumnal recently. I feel like only in the past couple of days here in the UK it has just started only just to get so cold. I haven't actually worn my coat out yet. Last year I found this gorgeous like long black coat. I don't really know how to describe it, but it was in a ton of my photos on Instagram. I wore it all winter. I wore it everywhere. I haven't been able to wear it yet this year, but when I do, that's when you know it's gotten really cold, and I'm so excited to wear it. But anyway, it's just been getting so cold recently, and I have just been in the biggest autumnal mood, and I really just also want to make a start on my autumn TBR. Actually, talking about my autumnal TBR, last month I posted a TBR jar picks what I read for September video, and I really wanted to do it every single month. I was so excited to do it for October, but because it is already the 5th, and I know that if I were to film it like today for example, it wouldn't be up until next week. I feel like that's just a little bit too late to film and upload a TBR. So honestly, I just thought I could talk about books that I want to read in October in this little video, just to kind of kick off the autumnal days. So I'm quickly going to take you with me. We're going to go on this bookshelf and the one in the living room, and we'll just go through some books that I really want to read this month. Okay, so standing in front of my bookshelf in my bedroom, there are definitely a couple of books that I really want to read this month that are here. I went to London a couple of days ago with my boyfriend. It was a really nice couple of days, and I went to Waterstones Gower Street for the first time. I'd never been to that branch before, and I fell in love. It was just so beautiful. If you've been there, you know exactly what I mean. I think it's one of my like favorite Waterstones branches ever, but they have such good range of like everything, and I've always wanted this one Rilke collection of poetry that I could never find anywhere, and I just saw it there, and I had never seen this collection in person before. It is Rilke's poems from the Book of Hours, and I've always wanted to read this collection. Obviously Rilke is my favorite poet of all time. I'm slowly but surely getting through all of his collections, and this is just a gorgeous short collection of his poetry from the Book of Hours, so I really definitely want to get to this month. I'm just going to start doing a little stack on my bookshelf here of all of the ones I decide to read, and I'm sure that there are definitely going to be more from this shelf that I want to read, because this is where like all of my classics live, and in autumn I just get in the biggest classics mood ever. I honestly really want to read Frankenstein, the 1818 text by Mary Shelley. Last year I started it, and I started annotating it because I wanted to do an entire video essay on this book. I loved Frankenstein when I read it when I was younger, but I didn't appreciate it as much as I feel like I would now. I feel like for me now it would become an all-time favorite book, and I've never also read the 1818 text, so I wanted to kind of see comparisons between the two. I don't know if this is a video that I will still do, but I definitely want to read Frankenstein, this one, before the end of the year, because last October I just didn't get around to reading it, and in my head this is a book that I need to read in October and October only. So if I stand by that, it will need to be read this year. Hopefully I do, but I don't know. Oh, I definitely also really want to read The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. I mentioned this book in one of my TikToks the other day, and everyone was so confused because of how thick this is, because The Yellow Wallpaper I believe is a short story of like 100 pages, if that. So I don't know if I'll get to the entire collection of short stories, but I definitely want to read The Yellow Wallpaper. I've heard that it's like unhinged women, kind of feral women vibes. It's also gothic, so it's everything that I normally love, and I just feel like I'll fall head over heels for it, so that is definitely on the list for this month. I would also love to read some Angela Carter, because it has been a little while, so I could definitely do this collection that I have of Angela Carter's Book of Wayward Girls and Wicked Women, just if I want another kind of unhinged woman vibe, but I don't know how much I'm going to want two kind of short story collections. So I'm not going to put this one in the stack, but it's definitely an option if I want to get to it. And other than that, I think that these three are the only ones that I want to read from this shelf. So let's go to my other one. Okay, so these shelves, I have two shelves in the living room where they are like my literary fiction books, my fantasy books, kind of every other book that I own that isn't on my classic shelf in my room. I don't know how many of these I'm going to want to read. I feel like I'm in a really big fantasy mood this year for autumn, which makes me really happy because I feel like I've never really experienced that before. So if you do have any fantasy book recommendations that you think I would like or I should definitely get to in autumn, please let me know. The books that I definitely want to read from here for October, there is one that is staring me down, but I don't think I'm going to read it in October. I think it's more going to be a November or potential December book, so I'm not going to mention it now. But some that were in like my books that I definitely want to read in autumn video, I really want to get to The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay. Oh my god, how did that happen? Okay, let's try and fix that. But this book I wanted to get to for so long, and I am kind of in the mood for a thriller alongside some fantasies, so I feel like this is a thriller that I'm really gonna love. I kind of mentioned it in my autumnal video, and I showed like this really kind of unique writing style, I suppose, or this narrative where it just seems like one character has written the book and then another character like has annotations and they're like, no, this isn't really what happened, this is the truth. And I just think that's going to give a really interesting narrative for a thriller, and I'm really excited. So that one is definitely on my list for the month. For a fantasy, I definitely want to get to Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This is another one that I've had on my TBR for so long, and I've actually heard some quite mixed things about this, so I don't know when I will get to it. I don't know if it's one that I'm going to prioritize. Hopefully it is, because I have been really excited. I just don't want to let the negative reviews kind of impact me, but that is one I definitely want to read. If I want a little romance moment, I think I will reach for All Roads Lead Here, Mariana Zapata. This book has been on my TBR for also years, and it's one that I've always wanted to get to, but it's massive and I just feel like I need to read it at the right time because it's going to become a new all-time favorite romance. My best friend is absolutely obsessed with this book and she's constantly waiting for me to read it, so dare I say it's happening. I think for literary fiction, I haven't actually been reading a lot of it recently, mainly because I have just been reading a lot of fantasy and stuff, which does make me really happy, but I also kind of miss it. But I don't feel like I have a lot of literary fiction on my shelves that would count as being quite autumnal or ones that are necessarily like spooky or really atmospheric. I don't know if I will pick any. I think if I did, it would be one of the Sayaka Murata books I have. I have tried reading Earthlings. I listened to the audiobook, or tried listening to the audiobook twice, and it was just so weird and I never got through it, but I feel like it's one that I would really like. So we could do that one, or Life Ceremony by Sayaka Murata, which I believe is actually a collection of short stories. And I did say I wasn't a huge fan of short stories at the minute, so maybe not. But we could do one of those. There are just so many books that I really want to read. Oh, actually, I do have one. Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I can't believe I nearly forgot it. I wanted to read an Alex E. Harrow book for ages, and this is one that ever since I received the proof, I knew I wanted to save for October. And I'm really excited for this. All I kind of know about it is that it has like a haunted house, a weird house vibe, and that's all I need to know because it's one of my favourite things in books. I actually also got the audiobook on NetGalley, so I might listen to the audiobook if I don't want to read it physically, if I have too many physical books on my TBR. This is one I will definitely be reading in October, if not like tomorrow. Okay, so I think for now these are the books that I'm just going to add on my October TBR from this shelf. There are definitely more books I want to read in October. I want October to be like the best reading month ever, not only in quantity but also in quality, so I'm really hoping that all of these are great. And actually saying that, I do have a massive unboxing that I need to do, which is going to be in its own little like dedicated video. I've never done one on YouTube before. I normally just save them all for TikTok, so I'm really excited to do just like a really long unboxing video of all of the books I've bought recently and received, and a lot of them are autumnal books and ones that I'm no doubt going to want to get to this month. But obviously I haven't opened them yet, so I'm not 100% sure what they will be, but for now I'm happy with this. So yeah, those are definitely some books that I want to try and get to this month, but currently I'm reading two books, and one of them is my most anticipated book for the year and I am really enjoying it, but I will go more into my thoughts in just a second. And then the other one is a reread that I have been planning for ages with my best friend, and she's reading it for the first time. She's absolutely loving it, but I'm falling behind on the kind of buddy read reread, and that is a buddy read of The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I have never ever reread this book. This stands still as one of my all-time favorite books. I've only read it the one time time 2 years ago now. It's one that I have been wanting to reread for so long, but obviously this time of the year is the perfect time to read it, so I wanted to wait until October to start my reread. And yeah, I'm listening to the audiobook for the first time. It's narrated by Donna Tartt, which I'm absolutely adoring, and I just love it so much. Like, honestly, I have no doubts in my mind about how much I'm gonna love it still and rate it. Sorry if the camera moves slightly, I had to clear up some space on my memory card, but as I was saying, I have no doubts that this is going to be 5 stars and still is going to be one of my all-time favorite books. But obviously I just wanted to mention that I am rereading it by listening to the audiobook, and it feels like coming home. Like, I'm just so happy. And then the other book I am currently reading is Rouge by Mona Awad. I have actually been reading this for over a week now, which is quite a long time for me to read a book, and I don't really know why that is. I think I've been slumping a lot recently, or not necessarily slumping, I'm just reading a lot less than I'm used to, and I'm trying to get back to it and develop my habits of like reading before bed again, because I definitely haven't been doing that for a long time, and I think it's definitely cutting reading time out of like my routine, so I definitely want to get back to reading a lot more every day. I am currently reading Rouge. I am 117 pages of the way through, and I'm really enjoying it. I think right now it's feeling a little bit different to her other books that I have read and love, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, Mona Awad has range and her writing style is incredible, and I feel like no matter what she writes in any genre or any type of story, 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna adore it and it's gonna be 5 stars. Right now I honestly couldn't even tell you what it's about. I'm gonna read a little bit more today, and then we'll slowly and surely give you updates on what's happening and my thoughts, but I definitely wanted to show you that I was reading it because it has been a long time coming, and I'm just so excited to finally be here. And yeah, I am anticipating to love it. I honestly am anticipating it to be 5 stars because it's Mona Awad, and I've rated pretty much everything I've ever read from her 5 stars. So yeah, those are the books that I am currently reading. As for what I plan to do with my day, because it is now 3:05, I really wanted to go out today and go to a cafe and do some editing and do some reading of Rouge, but right now I don't think that's necessarily going to happen because I have finally, honestly, if you guys could only know the complications it has been, stupidly, like there was no reason for it to be this hard for me to get a new phone. It has been a long process of just trying to get a new phone. Literally every single thing that could possibly go wrong in it did go wrong, and I don't, knock on wood, want to jinx anything because my new phone should be arriving today. I haven't actually received a text saying like my time slot of when the delivery should arrive, so I don't want to leave the house obviously until it's here. So depending on when it does arrive and me setting it up and all of that stuff, I don't know if I'm gonna end up going out today to the cafe, but if not, I'm definitely doing it tomorrow because I've been so excited all week for a little solo cafe trip. So yeah, I do plan on bringing you guys along for the next couple of days and doing some really nice autumnal cozy reading things, and I'm really excited. This morning, for example, I had my first batch of cinnamon rolls of the season, and I love cinnamon rolls. I have them 24/7 anyway. It used to be like a Sunday tradition that I have definitely let slip, but I definitely want to make it tradition again. But having it in autumn just hits different and I love it. So yeah, I just hope to do a lot of really autumnal things in the next couple of days, and I will bring you along with me. So I think for now, whilst I'm waiting for my delivery to arrive, I'm going to read some more of Rouge, pop on a really cozy like ambiance room, and hopefully make a bit more of a dent in it. Good morning. Actually, I lie, it's not really even morning anymore. It's currently 20 to 12. I've spent the past couple of hours setting up my new phone. I am so excited. I obviously was expecting for it to arrive yesterday. It obviously didn't. It arrived this morning, but I'm just so happy that I finally have a new phone. I think I briefly mentioned yesterday how complicated it has been. Stupidly, it literally did not need to be this hard for me to get a new phone. I haven't had like a new phone for 3 years and I just needed one so bad. I think it just got to the point where I had the, I think, iPhone XR and it worked perfectly for a while, but the camera was just getting worse and worse, and like the microphone. And because now TikTok and Instagram is a job for me, insanely, like it makes me so happy. I kind of wanted but also needed to get a new phone so that the quality is a lot better. So now I'm just so excited to film and to take photos and I just cannot wait. But yeah, that is what I have done this morning. Right now I have a cup of tea because it is so cold in the flat right now. I kind of needed to make one to warm me up, and I also have some cinnamon rolls left over from breakfast yesterday. So I'm gonna eat those, drink this, and I'm gonna get ready. I thought we could just chat whilst I get ready to head to a cafe finally to do a bit of editing. It honestly doesn't take me very long to get ready anymore, which makes me so happy because I used to wear foundation everywhere. Like every time I would film videos I would put foundation on, even if I'm not leaving the house. Like any time that people were going to be seeing me outside of like going to work at the bookshop, I would be wearing foundation. But now I don't really wear it anymore. I don't know if any of you watching this saw my move-in vlog a couple of months ago where I basically was talking about my skin and how I was kind of getting my teenage acne back and I had been put on medication for it, and oh my god, that medication was a godsend. I'm not on it anymore just because it was an 8-week prescription and it's over now. And I mean, I am currently breaking out a little bit, but it is that time of the month and hormones are hormones, like they can't be helped. But overall my skin has been so much better and I'm feeling so much more confident and just more comfortable going out and not wearing any foundation. So much so that I've only worn foundation like a handful of times in the past month and a half. I even went to an event not too long ago and I didn't wear any foundation, and I know that sounds like such a small, probably like little thing to everyone else, but to me, I never would have done that before. So yeah, I'm really happy that I'm currently in a place where I am happy and comfortable with my skin, although it is breaking out a little bit now. It literally cannot be helped, but I'm just so happy that I feel comfortable enough to not wear foundation. What I do now is I just put a little bit of concealer, like bronzer, all of the normal stuff, just minus foundation and a lot less of it. That was an unnecessary little tangent, but I will talk to you now about the books that I'm currently reading. Obviously I know I mentioned it yesterday, but I have a couple more updates. So as I said yesterday, I obviously am currently reading Rouge by Mona Awad. I was reading it physically and I am really enjoying the book, but I will say I'm not like obsessed with it like I am with all of her other books like All's Well and Bunny. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the book or it's something in the book that I'm not clicking with 100%, or if it's just because I'm in such still a really weird reading mood, but I don't know what it is. I was struggling a little bit to read it physically. I am enjoying it and I definitely read I think about 50-60 pages, so I did read a little bit more physically. But then recently, as in like the last couple of days, if you use Spotify and you have like premium, you can now get 15 hours of audiobooks in your membership, which is insane. I don't think it's available to everyone. I think it's only available to people in the UK and Australia maybe. I don't think it's available to people in the US just yet. But yesterday I fell down a massive rabbit hole where I was just looking through their library, and they have some insane audiobooks that like my Libby has never had, and obviously I'll still be using Libby 99% of the time for my audiobooks because I read a lot of them. But I was talking to my best friends about it and one of them mentioned that Rouge is on there, and I was like, I'm very tempted to just start the audiobook and finish it as an audiobook. That is kind of what I have decided to do. I think mainly because I was just struggling to read it physically a little bit, and because this was my most anticipated book of the year, and like I know I am going to love it even if it's not on the level of All's Well or Bunny. If I think I'm going to enjoy it more if I listen to the audiobook, then that is what I'm going to do. So I've decided to listen to Rouge via the audiobook from now on. So to check how long I have left, I currently have 6 hours 24 minutes left, and I am listening to it on double speed, so about 3 hours. So hopefully I should finish it in the next couple of days. So that kind of meant last night that I needed to start a physical book, and I was more so in the mood to just like read an entire book in one sitting, and what better way to do that than to just pick up a small poetry collection. So that is exactly what I did last night. I picked up Rilke's Book of Hours and I read it. Like, it's like 50 pages. It was incredibly short. So I started it and finished it yesterday, and I think I ended up rating it 3 stars. It is definitely my least favorite Rilke collection that I have ever read, and I think that was because this book is specifically, like, I think poems to God or something along those lines, and I'm not religious. I'm not a religious person, so I try to steer clear from poetry that kind of focuses solely on religion and God. I love religious commentary in books, especially when it links to like girlhood and just commentary and exploration surrounding religion and what it's for. If it is something that is specifically religious, 9 times out of 10 I'm not going to gel well with it because I'm not religious, and that is what this poetry collection was. I kind of knew that it was one of his more religious collections, but I didn't know that it was solely like love poems to God. If I did, I don't think I would have like necessarily picked it up last night, but albeit I'm still definitely happy that I read it because Rilke is my favorite poet of all time, and I would quite like to say that I've read all of his collections published. So I am happy I've read it, but there weren't any poems in that book that I felt the need to like underline or remember, and that is when I kind of know if I'm not gelling with a poetry collection. So yeah, last night I did start and finish that, and then I just decided, because I was still in a very big reading mood because of how short the poetry collection was, I finished it so quick and I still wanted to read, so I decided to pick up one of the books that I mentioned for my October TBR, and that is The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay. This has been on my TBR for so long, and I was just like, I'm kind of in the mood for a little thriller, so we'll go with this one. And I only got up to page 28 this morning. I did also read a couple extra pages, just finishing off the chapter that I didn't finish last night, and so far I'm really enjoying it. Obviously I can't really say too much because I don't know too much about the story, being only 28 pages in. I am really intrigued, and I'm really hoping it's going to be a thriller that I absolutely adore, like 4 stars, maybe 5. So yeah, I'm definitely going to bring the Pallbearers Club to the cafe today. I plan on editing an entire video, my September wrap up, to go up hopefully tomorrow or Sunday. I have felt very under weather the past couple of days. I think it's, again, because it's just that time of the month. But I also just have such a sore throat, and I'm worried that I'm getting another cold or flu, so I'm really hoping that I'm not. I'm literally going to buy a ton of Strepsils and just hope that it cures me. So all I have really done for the past couple of days is I filmed a couple of TikToks, but I didn't do any YouTube stuff, which I had planned to do, which wasn't ideal. Today I want this like cafe trip to just be catching up with editing that video and doing stuff like that. So that is the plan. I'm now going to do my eyeliner off of camera because that would stress me out far too much, and I will be back. Okay, so I'm now all done. I'm going to get ready to leave. I'll bring you guys with me to the cafe. I'm hoping to have a really cozy autumnal time because it is pretty cold today too. And yeah, I'm probably just going to obsess over my phone and the camera on TikTok for a little while, and then I will head out and I'll bring you guys with me. We're going to a pumpkin patch. Hey guys, so it's been a couple of weeks since I last spoke to you. That is not what I intended for at all, but I ended up falling pretty ill with a really bad cold or flu that has been going around at the minute, and it was not fun. It did kind of make me sad because October is my favourite month for reading but also for content, and I planned so many things to post, and I feel like I haven't posted, or I know that I haven't posted in like 2 weeks, nearly 3 weeks potentially, or at least it feels that long to me. Unfortunately, this is coming out significantly later than I wanted it to, but hopefully it's coming out anyway. Because I was ill, I did actually end up reading quite a bit. I have now finished Rouge by Mona Awad, and I have read a multitude of other books since finishing this too. So right now my October wrap up is looking very good, very positive. I'm really happy with not only how many books I've read so far, but what I've actually read. I feel like it's a really good month and is continuing to be a really good month. As I said, I did end up finishing Rouge by Mona Awad and I ended up rating it 4 stars. I absolutely love this. It's absolutely no surprise to anyone that Mona Awad's writing style is incredible, and in this it was no different. But I will say that I didn't love this as much as I have loved all of her other books, unfortunately. I'm not too sure why that was. Initially I put it down to the fact that I was slumping fairly hard when I first picked up this book, and it was taking me so long to read in comparison to what books do anyway, let alone something from one of my favourite authors ever. So I was quite surprised, and I really wasn't sure if it was down to the book or the reading slump or just me, and I don't know. I feel like this had such incredible commentary on the beauty industry, on mother-daughter relationships, on grief, and that element or those elements I absolutely adored. The pacing for this book didn't gel 100% with me. I did end up switching to the audiobook because Spotify now, I don't know if it's still only the UK and Australia, but I know that Spotify included in like your premium membership, you now get 15 hours of audiobook listening a month, which is incredible because girl math, that's technically free audiobooks. And I probably spent way too long looking through every single audiobook they had and all of the genres, and Rouge was one of them. So I did end up switching for like the last quarter of the book, maybe a little bit more, and I think that decision was the right one, albeit I definitely don't think that listening to the audiobook is 100% the way to go, because with Mona Awad there is just something so magical about physically reading one of her books, but for some reason this book just didn't have that for me this time round, which is a massive shame. But I do feel like it is one that I will probably like more on a reread, and when I do one day revisit it, no doubt, because again, she's still one of my favourite authors. But yeah, as much as I did really enjoy this book and I loved certain elements, it was a 4-star, which obviously in no way is a bad rating, but considering it was my most anticipated book of the year, I had anticipated for it to be a favourite of all time, definitely 5 stars, and unfortunately it wasn't. But I would still definitely recommend it, whether you have liked Mona Awad or not. But yeah, those were my thoughts on Rouge. As far as I can remember, that was the only book I told you guys that I was reading. I feel like so much has happened since the last time I filmed and spoke to you guys and to now. As I said, I was fairly ill for a really long time. I kind of took a break from filming at all. I didn't really film any TikToks or Instagrams or anything like that. I took a break from content, which was a huge shame because October, as I said, is my favourite month for all things like that, but I feel like it was definitely needed, and I'm really excited to yet again come back to filming more content, and hopefully I don't fall ill again, because chronic illness, people know how bad our immune systems can be. It was just a really rough time. And other than that, I have been working non-stop at the bookshop, and because it's getting closer to Christmas, it's getting a little bit more busy and a little bit more intense. It is what it is. I also went to a pumpkin patch, my first ever pumpkin patch experience with my boyfriend, and it was so lovely, and I already miss it so much, and I already can't wait to go back next year. I did film a little bit of content, which you probably already would have seen. I didn't do too much, but I really just wanted to enjoy the day, and that I definitely did. But yeah, those are some updates. I think I'm also going to end the video here just so I can start a new one afresh. I definitely want to get this out as soon as possible, being incredibly aware that I haven't really posted anything recently. So hopefully you are seeing this and hopefully you enjoyed it, no matter how chaotic or potentially boring it was. Let me know how your autumn, how your October is currently going, if you have read Rouge or if you're reading a book that you're really enjoying. I am so excited for so many books that I still plan to read before the end of October and just in the rest of the year, a lot of which are stacked here and are newly hauled, which I actually need to film a haul for, so you'll probably see that fairly soon. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching and for being here. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again very soon with another video.